Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tats. Harihi Om Tats. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Madhiya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guru Udetu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhagaha Udetu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhagaha. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tats. Jai Guru, Jai Guru. We shall recite together 3 times the auspicious monosyllable Omkara, the effect of which is allfold. The American cardiologist was speaking and I was hearing it online, that this Omkara has got a great mystic power of strengthening the heart and increasing the longevity of the heart. This is so far as the biological effect of Omkara recitation is concerned. So far as we are concerned, we were always looking into the influence, the working effect of Omkara Japa on the inner personality, in the inner personality. What is the inner personality? It consists of 3 constituents: the emotional mind, the rational intelligence, and the assertional ego. When the inner personality is sufficiently acted upon, everything is all right. It can set right even diseases and disorders of the mind. It can sharpen the intelligence, make it more and more perceptive, and the ego can be a very enlightened and sublimated ego. Can you imagine the benefits, these benefits, how potent they are, how consequential they are? It requires a lot of imaginative power to understand this. It is that Omkara that we are going to recite jointly. Every one of you must have in your mind the feeling that this joint recitation should spread upon the whole of our earth and shower its benedictions on every creature, all creatures. Harihi, Harihi. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect. Don't strain yourself. Even if you are not straight, it does not matter. Sit comfortably erect. Close your mouth. Close your eyes. You have to open the mouth. Close your eyes. Then open the mouth and the heart and join me. Dear and blessed souls, Today, all of you have assembled here primarily to participate in the Padapooja. So I thought I will tell you not all about it, but something about Padapooja. There are some new youngsters also who have come here. We have a number of temples, numerous, numberless temples, countless temples, wherever Hindu society is. In Malaysia also, I think, hundreds of temples are there. Can you imagine the number of temples in India? Every temple has got a deity, and people go there to worship the deity in one manner or the other. The priest will be doing the puja to preserve the divine brilliance imparted, infused into the deity at the time of installation by the priest. It is only a piece of stone which the sculptor has made. How is it that stone becomes an idol, idolizing God for us to worship? This is something that all of you should think about. The sculptor must be stepping over the stone and chiseling, and he shapes the stone. It is brought. That stone is administered a number of ritualistic tantric procedures. Every procedure is intended to infuse and instill spiritual and divine brilliance into the deity. Mark. What is taking place? What did I say? The priests are infusing and instilling into the deity, into the stone, spiritual brilliance, step by step. Where from do they take the spiritual brilliance? Tell me, where from do they take? The entire universal creation is made up of matter. Energy also. Matter and energy are interconvertible. Neither matter nor energy has got what you call the life element in it. They are not sentient. So, and where from will the brilliance be taken? And who will take it? The priest is drawing brilliance from his own inside, using his mental and intellectual procedures, different types of mudra actions and different types of contemplation, chanting various mantras. The entire process is an effort to invoke divine brilliance from the priest's own within and passing it on to the deity. When the whole 11-day procedure is completed, the priest has to feel the stone has become a full idol with divine brilliance as well as benedictory brilliance to bless the devotees who come there. This is the concept of the temple. This brilliance will be getting exhausted depending upon the number of devotees who go to the temple and praying to the Lord. When you pray to the Lord, you are asking Him to do something, to give you a blessing. So He takes the blessings which was infused into the deity, into the stone by the installing priest. After 12 years, the whole brilliance will be over. The daily pujas would not be sufficient for it to preserve and enhance the brilliance. So once in 12 years, a rejuvenation ceremony is done. It will last maximum for 11 days. Everything that is done there is to infuse more and more brilliance into the deity. Now, the point I wanted to say is something different. What is that? You go there, look at the deity, worship, etc., etc. You tell me, every action is an expression or effort of the actor. What? Every action is an expression or effort of the actor. So in the action actor comes first. Actor comes first. In all the worship that you do, tell me, the worshipper is first or the worshipped is the first? You should answer me. If you don't think now. In any act, worship is an act. The worshipper comes first or the worshipped comes first? Worshipper. And you direct your act towards the deity in front. And what is the deity? It is a mute deity who cannot see, who cannot hear, who cannot feel. Then what is this worship? The worship is a totally subjective personal effort. And the satisfaction you must have. I have gone to the temple where my dear devotee is installed. I stood before the deity, looked at the sanctum sanctorum, the central part where the deity is installed, and I did what I wanted to do, and I am happy. That is what counts. In any act of worship, contrary to that, there are occasions when we worship not only human beings, animals also we worship, trees also we worship. We worship inert things like stone, mud. In all our ceremonials you will find there is a place for everything. Everything. Similarly, we worship our father and mother. I remember in my young days, for all the sons there will be an Ayushya Homa for long life. For girls they don't do, only for boys. So the priest will come and perform an Ayushya Homa. At the end of it, my mother used to say, prostrate before the priest, touch his feet. So we are used to and we are taught to do it. Every prostration that you make, every worship that you do, my dear souls, it is meant to benefit you. If you are eating, is it for benefiting the rice and the sabjis, the vegetables? Is it not for your nutrition? In the same manner, if you do an oral, mental or intellectual act of worship, it is meant for you, please understand it. If you prostrate before anybody, poor man, what does he get? He is seated there. So the prostration is an act done by the prostrating individual. And to whom is the benefit? Tell me. If you scold him, then the benefit or effect goes to whom? You have still doubt? If you praise somebody, what is the benefit for the praised person? So far as prostration is concerned, this is the most spiritual and also biological act. The head is always on top, the brain. The heart is here. Pumping is always upward, not downward. There is an effort. So if you bend your head and prostrate, there is a greater flow of blood to the brain. After doing about half a dozen or dozen prostrations, the most difficult subject you take up and start reading, you will understand it easier. Any idea that you put into a man, after he has prostrated, he will easily pick it up. This is the effect of prostration. Whenever we prostrate before anybody, to whom you prostrate, he gets 0 or minus effect. But you get all the plus, and it can be an infinite also. This is the point that you should understand. There are 3 types of friendship and association. One is, we are interacting with people who are younger to us. We are interacting with our close friends and well-wishers. Then we are interacting with the elderly people. Whenever you interact with somebody younger to you, you have the responsibility to ensure that your interaction is beneficial to him. Whatever you do, he may copy. Understand that you are setting an example before the youngster. That is one relationship. Between friends, you can have a little freedom, relaxation. Because they will criticize you, look at you, point out your mistake. That is equal friendship. Towards the elders, you always show respect. Actually, it is from elders you have the best of knowledge or the maximum measure of knowledge. In the schools and colleges, are students teaching you or teachers teaching you? And teachers are elder to the students or youngster or of the same age. Every time you derive knowledge only from an elderly person. But after you have become grown up, others who have become adults may excel in knowledge and you can learn from them also. But generally it is from elders. And our attitude towards the elders is that we are respectful to them, we are prepared to look at them, learn, try to see what they are doing, etc. So this Padapooja is one such where you worship the feet of somebody elder to you, from whom you expect some kind of an instruction, wisdom or knowledge. Sri Krishna was residing in Dwaraka. I don't know whether you have understood about the significance of Dwaraka. Dwaraka was the first palace city made in the sea. They have found remnants of Dwaraka in the sea. And Sri Krishna said to Uddhava, after I leave my body, the Dwaraka will be under the sea. On the seventh day, sea will take it over, he said. In Srimad Bhagavatam, you have a splendorous description of Dwaraka. You should read it. I don't know where from they got these ideas. They have mentioned about the crossroads, the boundary wall lamps, pillars, how beautiful and glorious they are. What about the jogging roads and parks? They are beautifully laid with Marataka Pachai, that is the word used, Marataka stone. Can you imagine? Is there any stone road anywhere in the world? Except concrete and coal tar? But they are saying, for people to walk, that Marataka stones were laid on the road. And there were some places where you can go and enjoy the moonlight. How many roundabouts they had made, how many crossroads they had made. Beautiful description. When I was writing on Bhagavatam, I saw to it that I incorporate most of the details there. When I came to describing a particular mountain, Trigudachala, the number of trees they have mentioned, so varietal they are. I almost incorporated the names of all the trees. I have lived and I had my growth in a forest environment. So I know the names of many trees in Kerala. I know the local language, Malayalam names. English, botanical names I don't know. So I incorporated all the trees. This Dwaraka is a very great structure. Sri Krishna was living there. Coming to know Dwaraka, Sri Krishna was living and his family was very huge. Narada was a world traveler and he was a reporter-like man. Whatever he sees, he will go and tell everybody. Very good man, very effective. He did not need any electronic media those days. He himself was sufficient. Something occurs here, he will come to know, and in hours he will take it to the other person. Can you imagine? This kind of a world traveler. Whose concept is this? It is the same intelligence and mind which you have. So Narada went there to find out how Krishna lives with so many wives and all. So he went first of all to Rukmini's palace, found Krishna. Went to Satyabhama's palace, found Krishna there. Then he went to another place, there also he went. In each place, Krishna is doing some act or the other. Sometimes talking to the wife, sometimes playing dice, sometimes bathing children, sometimes swimming on the swimming pool. How is it that in every place there is a Krishna doing a different act? So he stopped and said, all that I have heard is right, and started giving huge publicity. And he used to visit Dwaraka frequently because he liked Krishna and his association. One day, Vasudeva, his father, found Narada. He had gone for a stroll. He invited him home and said, "My dear sage, I am suffering great agony in my mind. I want to confess it to you and then seek a solution. I worshipped Lord Hari, Mahavishnu, and he came before me, ready to give me any kind of a blessing, including moksha liberation. But poor I, what did I do? I asked him, be born as my child. This is the mistake I did in my life. You can always ask God for anything. He said, be born as my child. Can you be the father of God? If God is born to you, who will bear that burden, the task of looking after a God child? Thank God that he only said that. What? Be born to me. He did not say anything else. Grace me with your birth. So Krishna was born. And before he was born, just see the persecution he had inflicted on Devaki. Are you following me? He could have been born as the first child. He said, I will be born as the eighth child. And until the eighth child was born, Devaki was giving birth to one child after the other. Every child was presented to Kamsa and he hit the child on the rock and killed. But Devaki did not say a single word in protest. So he was born as the eighth child. That itself is the persecution. I generally say, even if today there is a woman who is prepared to accept God's birth as the eighth one, all the seven being killed by the brother, I think that will be a Krishna. Can you imagine the austerity Devaki underwent? The harmony she had to generate and feel for such a cruel instance. Keeping to the word and presenting every child to Kamsa for his slaughter. Can you imagine? The human mind is capable of doing this and a lot more. You only see a figment of the human mind. The human mind is vaster than the sky. The human mind can embrace the infinite God. Its dimension, where is it? Inside the body. What does it reflect? An endless universe of plurality, infinity. It is not the eyes that see, it is the mind that pictures the whole universe. So Vasudeva, his wish was fulfilled. And soon after birth, Krishna said, he did not tell him, I am telling you, you only wanted me to be born to you, I am born. Now take me away. This very moment I want you to take me in a basket, go to Vrindavana, put the child there, and there is a female child without anybody knowing it, bring her back for Kamsa to kill. This is what Vasudeva did. My dear sage, this is a mistake I have done. Now Krishna is living here. So many people are going to him. He is distributing liberation left and right to the people who go there. But I, as a father, carry the ego of fatherhood, and I cannot go and sit before him seeking liberation because he happens to be my son. So I am in utter disaster. Please save me. Then he said, okay, I shall tell you a story. There was a great emperor, Nimi by name. He was a great king, very religious, pious. His ruling was very good. All people were prosperous. Everybody was peaceful. He was performing a great yaga. And all the priests are present there. When the yaga was going on, suddenly appeared 9 yogis in that scene. Seeing 9 yogis enter, Nimi Chakravarti stopped. Please understand the message. Nimi Chakravarti stopped the yaga. At whatever stage it had reached, he got up. When he got up, the priest also, especially a king, an emperor, they also got up. They welcomed the sage, seated them, gave them, did Padapooja, etc. And then the king asked, I am very happy that you have arrived. My whole yaga, the performance, without being complete, it has already fulfilled its objective. Now, I am the performer, the master, but this completion of the yaga is nothing to me. My mind is thirsting for peace. The welfare of the mind is different from prosperity, having worldly acquisitions, academic education, and the like. So please tell me now, Bhagavata Dharmas. You know what the word means? Bhagavan is God. Bhagavata is he who feels I am God's. What? I ask every one of you, what is your answer? Can you tell me who you are? You will immediately say, I am X, born of... This is what you will say. Have you ever found anybody? Who are you? I am God's. I am a daughter of God. I am a son of God. You will agree that earth is born of God. But earth's child as I am, you will not say, I am born of God. This is the delusion that the human mind suffers from. I always tell people, if the earth is God, earth's denizens also are gods. So feel that I am a child of God, a son or a daughter. The son of a rich man is rich. Do you agree? So the son of God will be what? Godly. Are you able to say that this very moment? I am asking the youngsters. The entire world is born of God. Then what about you? You are born from anti-God? Huh? Why don't you say, I am a son of God, I am a daughter of God, and start dancing? As long as I am the son or daughter of God, what is there for me to worry? I will not worry. If there is worry, it is for my Father God, not for me. So, what is the Bhagavata Dharma? How will a devotee who feels that I am a son or a daughter of God live in this world, speak in this world, interact with this world? What will be the values he is governed by? What will be his vision? How will he think of others? All these things. So every yogi spoke from his point of view, and all the 9 yogis spoke. This portion of Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very illustrious. It is called Navayogi dialogue. The dialogue of 9 yogis, each person. This I want to tell you only to make you understand what is the arrival of a saint. And compared to that, what is the great yaga Nimi Chakravarti was performing. He stopped and welcomed them. And then what was he asking for? Wisdom. So you tell me, are the ceremonial superior, or is the quest of the human mind and heart greater? थोड़ा बोलिए ना. हाँ என்ன சொல்றீங்க நீங்க? யாரும் நினைக்கிறது கிடையாது. நினைவு சொல்கிறது இல்லை. நமக்கு சாப்பாடு தான் உள்ளது. சாப்பிடணும் நிறைய, உடுத்திக்கணும் நிறைய, அதுதான் உள்ளது நமக்கு. நினைவு சொல்கிறது கிடையாது. விசாரம் பண்ண மாட்டான். Nobody is given to think, inquire, seek, know and be graced by knowledge. Our Vedas say knowledge alone is the goal of life. Brahmavid apnodi param. The man who knows the supreme truth attains the best. Attains the best. Knowledge. Previously I was a little reserved. Nowadays I freely say, I am nothing and I want nothing. I am nothing and I want nothing. You hear it and perhaps smile, but I want you to think a little more. If there is such a state as I am nothing and I want nothing, what is it that makes one feel and say like this? There must be some kind of an inner sufficiency, a psychological and intellectual sufficiency that makes you say, I am nothing. No ego of any kind at all. Your body is not depending upon you for its existence. We need oxygen. We need the richest man. Even the best of doctors, they want oxygen. They want air. Tell me who produced the air? Who preserves it? So if your life is absolutely connected to and depending upon air, and the presence of air is not something under you, are you not totally dependent upon God? No? So your body is not under your control. And whatever you achieve with the effort of the body, how can it be yours? So there is nothing. We are nothing. We are nothing. And you also have to say, we want nothing. I am surrounded by God. I am penetrated by God. I am surrounded by God. I am penetrated by God because God is all pervading. I see Him alone. You know, I tell people, I am ashamed to say God. What? What? I am ashamed to say God because God alone is. Do you ever say, I am? Do you ever say, I am X, I am X, I am X, I am X? You are X. Why should you say that? This is my father, this is my father, this is my father. Father, you are my father. Do you say that? Huh? Why? He is your father and you are his son or daughter. It does not require any restatement. Similarly, God does not require any restatement. So I am a little ashamed to say God. I also tell God, my dear God, I don't want to remember you at all. Don't make me remember you. Why? If I have to remember you, I have to first forget you. So to remember God means, சொல்லுங்களே வாயை திறந்து என்ன பேசாம இருக்கிற குழந்தைகளா. To remember God means to forget Him first. So I don't want to forget you and then remember you. So don't make me remember. எல்லாரும் சொல்லுவா, என்ன சொல்லுவா, போகுமே இது போனமாகுமே, அந்த டைமில் I must remember God. You want to wait until death to remember God? Certainly not. Please take away all these false notions from you. Nobody can tell you except one who knows the truth. Why should you wait for death to remember God? And then suppose you forget, tell me whom do you forget? என்ன பேசுகிறே எல்லாரும்? You forget God. You remember God. So is not God present in forgetfulness and remembrance? Think and answer. Don't mortgage your intelligence. If I forget you. If I remember the same you. So where are you present? In my forgetfulness as well as in my memory. This is the type of knowledge that you can have. In human life, knowledge is the greatest gift, is the greatest wealth, is the greatest possession. It is with knowledge that you try to know, I am surrounded by God. I am penetrated by God. So I tell God, I have told you earlier also, my dear God, can you do this? Banish me from your kingdom. Throw me out of your kingdom, if you can, and exit from my heart. He has never responded to this. Never. Never responded. Never. I ask him, banish me from your kingdom. You are great and glorious. Put me out of your existence, your kingdom, and get me out of my heart. உங்களுக்கு இதுவரையிலும் நினைச்சு, these are qualitative enrichment of the mind and heart. Qualitative enrichment. Just like you have health, when body is fed and nourished, you should also nourish your mind, feed your mind, and feed your intelligence. Pannuvela? Huh? Huh? Are you feeding your mind? Are you feeding your intelligence? You will feed your mind with good, noble, and great thoughts, feelings, and attitudes. Sit somewhere every day, half an hour, and try to feed your mind and intelligence. Harvard University has issued a bulletin in which they say a man is wakeful for 1020 minutes, out of which at least 20 minutes you should sit in a place and do meditation. You are spending 2.5 hours for the sake of your body, taking bath, feeding 3-4 times, decorating the body, answering the calls of nature, etc. Altogether, when I calculated, it is about 2.5 hours. Correspondingly, to nourish your inner personality, my dear children, you say, are you spending half an hour? At least half an hour you spend. 20 minutes you spend. Leave everything. Sit in a place. Before that, close the door and windows. Simply look at your mind. This is the minimum that we are supposed to do. Krishna has given 2 pieces of instruction. One, when he was middle-aged in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, to enlighten and activate Arjuna to fight the war for which he had come there. Both of them were young, middle-aged. The second advice, the better advice, was given to Uddhava when he was 125 years old. Uddhava was a trusted counselor for him. So Uddhava also was old. These are the 2 pieces of advice Krishna gave for humanity. And our country is great. Hindus are a great society who have preserved both. There are people in the Hindu society who recite at least one shloka from Uddhava Gita. Uddhava told Krishna, Naham tavankrikamalam kshanardhamapi keshava tyaktum samutsahe natha swadhama nayamamapi. My dear Lord, I am so used to you. I am intimate with you. I am closely associated with you. I only know to serve you, answer your calls. I cannot keep away from your association even for half a second. Kshanardhamapi Keshava, Tektum samutsahe Natha. I have no power to keep away. Therefore, please take me wherever you go. This is the pinnacle of devotion. நீங்கள் அதை இதையும் சொல்லின்னு இருக்காங்க. கடவுள்கிட்ட என்ன சொல்லணும்? ஒன்ன இடத்துலேருந்து அரை நிமிஷம் போலும் எனக்கு அகந்து இருக்க முடியாது, விட்டு போக முடியாது. சொல்ல முடியறது அவங்க மனசு. என்னத்தை? ஜம்போ பூஜா, ஜம்போ ஜம்போ ஜம்போ. But are you able to say this? Are you able to understand? My dear God, you surround me, you penetrate me. I cannot think of the least distance with you or from you. I am not distant from you, you are not distant from me. Even my body depends upon your air. Your air. Not the air given to me by my father as a patrimony. No. I am staying because of the gravity of the earth. I am drinking the water which you have given. So there is nothing in me which belongs to me or to my parents. I am wholly, completely belonging to you. Is it not a fact, my dear children? Is it a fact or a fiction? I want an answer. Is it a fact? Then why don't you remember, recognize and be enriched by it? So devotion is very simple, very easy, very sweet, very nourishing. It makes you ecstatic in a matter of days and months. பகவானே நீ ரொம்ப தூரி இருக்காயப்பா, அங்கேயே இருந்துக்கோ, பக்கத்தில் வர வேண்டாம். ஒரு பூஜாரம் வச்சு அதை லாக் பண்ணி போயிடுவேன். Only when you open you want him to be there. Nobody wants God to run parallelly with you, to be constantly in your heart. இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் எல்லாம் வந்து கேட்டு எல்லாரும் நன்னா இருக்கும். Be good, great, noble. God helps you for it. Devotion is always a plus for everybody, even for a thief and a dacoit. It can never inflict a minus. It's always a plus factor. So all of you should take sufficient interest in devotional and spiritual matters. Bring the children also up very well. Very well. Tell them that you are not just a member of my family. You are a member of the nation, a citizen of the nation, and a citizen of the world. Love the society as much as you love the family. I don't want a child who loves only the family. When you step out of your house into outside, where do you place your first foot? On the footpath of a road that does not belong to you. You are wearing the dress woven and manufactured by somebody else. We are eating the rice grown by somebody. So our life is connected with the society, the nation and the globe at every point of time. So as you think of your family, you should also think of the whole world. Vasudhaiva kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva kutumbakam. My family is the world in which I live. You must be able to say, teach the children. Teach the children. Don't say, you are my child, you are my child, you are my child. So think only of me. What? This me, what can you do? If you alone are there in this world, can you do anything? Santoshma irukko. I am very happy that you youngsters have come. Very good. I compliment you. I am a little apprehensive about it, that all of you are wearing something like Rudraksha, or something like Rudraksha or Rudraksha itself at such a young age. So I am wondering, what are you wearing? Is it Rudraksha? Huh? Have you known enough about what Rudraksha is and who will wear it, at what time, etc.? Have you gone into it? So, all of you are intelligent. Before doing anything whatsoever, try to know. Try to know. You know, the great Sita was there. A golden deer came to her garden and started eating, playing and all that. Something looked like that. So she fell in love with the golden deer. Did not think whether there could be a golden deer. She wanted the deer to be brought for her. And Sri Rama started for it. Lakshmana interfered and said, "My dear brother, this is not a golden deer. This is a product of witchcraft. We are in the midst of enemies, especially Ravana's men, etc. So you should not go in search of it." He said, "Okay, if it is a witchcraft product, then I will punish him." Janaki never asked me for anything, so I will go. He went. So Sita was deluded. Rama also was deluded. Lakshmana's caution, both of them refused to hear. And what happened? In a matter of 5 minutes, Sita was in the hands of Ravana. So we must always be very careful to the extent possible. So I am happy to see you because this indicates externally that you are ascetically inclined. Is it not? You like austerity, ascetic life. This is a symptom of ascetic life. You can wear it, but be an ascetic. Otherwise, it will make you an ascetic. Any questions? Did you hear what I said? Do you agree with me? Huh? Is it practical? To think that God is everywhere. He surrounds us. He penetrates us. So I cannot be separate from God, nor can God be separate. What kind of a great insurance is this without paying any money premium?
I am seeing you after 30 years. I am very jubilant with the youth that you have. They say that you are 90 years old, but for me, you are 30 years old with the 60 years old of knowledge. You have given us a great volume of knowledge. Today, as I sit here, I have listened an experience of a saintly person. Now, what I didn't understand in the beginning was that somewhere in the middle, you said that I am looking at the idol, and you're saying that it is not that, it is in you. And therefore, and you went on describing, I just want to clear my mind. It sounded very anti-God.
No.
Because?
No, it is not. It is only explaining worship.
Okay.
See, worship is your act. Everything that you do in devotion, is it meant for God or is it meant for you, the devotee? Tell me.
Yes. It is
Every devotional pursuit and exercise, is it not meant to enrich ourselves? So our Hinduism has existed repeatedly, I say, on two institutions. One is large number of temples we have where thousands, lakhs, millions and billions of people go. Parallelly, a few ashrams where dozens, scores, hundreds and thousands go. In the temple you have a mute god, in the ashram you have a non-mute god. This is the only difference. Both are equally fulfilling their roles. But you go to the temple understanding that your devotional practice should be such that it brings about changes in you, corrections in you, expansion in you. See, there is a British proverb. It is good to be born in a church, but not to die in a church. Have you heard? That is, we should go to the temple, practice devotion very well, and ultimately we should understand what is this devotion, where is it emerging from, where does it grow? Are we going to the temple to enhance God or to enhance our own devotion? So it is not anti-God, not at all. It is only explaining. Such explanations are there in our devotional texts.
Yes. I just wanted to get that.
Tamil oru sollundu pattanatharodu. Are you a Tamilian?
Yes, sir.
Then I will say in Tamil. Natta kalli pesuma nathan ullu irukkave shutta chatti shattukam karichuvai ariyuma. The Pattanathas. So saints generally speak truths which normally people will not have known. That is why. See, we are preparing a good food with a vessel, fire, spoon, etc., etc. The food that you prepare, the taste of it, does the vessel or spoon or anything, does it know? In the same manner, natta kalli pesuma nathan ullirikkave. When the real God, what makes you go to the temple? Is it the idol or your own devotion? Tell me. It is your devotion that makes you go to the temple. It is that devotion that has to become better, grow. So with every day of the visit to the temple, your devotion should proportionately grow. That is why in the devotion they give lectures on God, take Srimad Bhagavatam and such other texts and explain why the temple is there, whom you are worshipping, and what is the growth in devotion. I am happy that you raised this point. It is not anti-God, it is only explaining God, repeatedly emphasizing the purpose of God. In Kerala, one person belonging to, not very educated, he was saying, Swamiji, we are all going to the temple, but we don't know why we go to the temple. And what are we supposed to do there? Will you please explain to us the purpose of going to the temple? Temple as an institution, what is it? How does it serve people? And what is the type of behavior that we must have while going to the temple and worshiping? Just his enquiry. Everything in Hinduism is absolutely scientific and rational. Everything. There is nothing that is irrational. See, we have our kings have spent a lot of money to construct temples, especially in Tamil Nadu. They say a 5-year plan of India, what it will cost, the same it costs for a Ayirankala Mandapam temple in Tamil Nadu. Now the kings have spent so much of money in the temple. Suppose they had spent similar money for the sake of immortalizing their grandfather or son, do you think anybody would have cared it? Would it have been beneficial to the others? You don't understand my question?
I understand.
Tell me. Because they have spent money on God and in the temple, it still remains a source of relief, a source of inspiration, a source of protection, refuge.
Swami, I am trained to go and see God. I am not trained to be devotion. I don't know how to appreciate my devotion. But I am trained, I am brainwashed since my young days that this is Saraswati, this is Sakti. You must go and pray, for your learning, for this and that. And later on, as I grow up, I understand what you are trying to tell me.
It is the way with everybody, because we cannot have an idea of an abstract thing. See, the world consists of Panchabhutas: solid earth, fluid water, gaseous air, hot and brilliant fire, and sky. In all these Panchabhutas, can you tell me what is the greatest and the highest? Space, sky. It is inside the sky, all the other things are there. But how many people think of the sky? Their sole focus is on the earth, and it is very limited. Do you know the relationship between space and the aggregate of planets? It is point 19 zeros and 1 of total space. And we are seeing all around. Every one of you is separate from the other, and the distance. This is space. And inside an object like this, the molecular aggregates. Am I clear? If you collect the molecules and put them, aggregate them, the matter part, and then space, free space is more in this than the molecules. This is what science says. So we are living and moving in space, but nobody thinks about it. So it is very natural, because the intelligence is begun to be used later. So we should bring up our children with a lot of stories, with a lot of information, and train them, but also tell them the other things. Say, as I told you, you are born of me, you are my child. But mind you, you are living on the earth. You are a son or a daughter. You are a citizen of the country, citizen of the world. So don't think only of your family or only of your village. Think always of the whole world. That kind of a teaching should be given. I was also, you know how many hours I used to spend every day in temple? About 1.5 hours a day, morning and evening. Early in the morning we will go to the temple, take bath, and we will have only one towel. The wet towel we will wear and go to the temple and worship. Not with dry clothes. I used to prostrate on the ground looking at the sun with only a langoti on my body. I am very trained in this. Nowadays in many temples I find people do not observe the discipline and decorum, so I don't even like to see that. They don't go with the necessary cleanliness, decorum, etc. I am used to very rigorous temple worship. We used to spend a lot of time in washing the temple areas, in conducting festivals and all that. We are running 7 temples. We are running 7 temples. All of them were entrusted to us by the management, saying, we are not able to do it, we don't have financial resource. All the temples we have rebuilt. The other day I gave a talk on how to worship. What do you call it, a clip? Audio, video clip. It has been seen by 200,000 people. Now it will be still more. One clip, very short clip. I want to produce a clip, please, tomorrow or day after. Here. I used to talk in Asianet in Kerala. My viewers were something like 1 million or more. And very pure philosophy I talk. But devotion is the background from which I speak. It is on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. More than 1 million people were listening to me every day. I spoke for 11 years, 6 days in a week. And for 11 years, then I stopped. So the feeling that what I say is anti-God should not be fostered. I am all God for. See, I conduct Nama Sankirtana Yatras through the public road. Hundreds and thousands of people come, join. Now here also, we have got Aravindan and Sanjay also. We will have 1 or 2 Nama Sankirtana sessions. All of you tell your friends, let all people come, and you will find during and at the end of the session you will find it was a very, very invaluable opportunity. Come with the whole of your heart. We will embrace God or make Him embrace us. Arrange for. Okay, very good. We shall be here with you for the rest of the period. Make use of it. Let us see you, understand you. Let us understand each other. It will be very good satsang. Hari. A satsang will be good only when the participants ask questions, wanting to know. Their inquiry should be there. Then only satsang will have the right focus. Every time if you just speak, it won't be sufficient. You should raise your inquiries and questions. Arjuna raised questions as Krishna was speaking. That is why from the 2nd chapter, it extended up to 18 chapters. And the 18th chapter also begins with a question from Arjuna. My dear Krishna, I have heard you. I have understood also. The last question that I have to ask you is, tell me the essence of Tyaga and Sannyasa. Tell me the essence of what is meant by sacrifice and renunciation. Krishna answered that question and finally finished. So the question is very important inquiry. All of you must have. Don't manufacture it, just express whatever you have in your mind and heart. We shall conclude the session. Samvedya varjidamanuttamameghamahadyam samvitpadam vigalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarahida kriyam tu kurvan agartrapadamethya samodita shri kurvan agartrapadamethya samodita shri. Hari, Hari, Hari Om Tas. Let us have the conclusional Omkara, all of us together. Take your mudra for it. Hari. Hari Om Tas. എല്ലാവരും നന്നായിരുന്നോ? സന്തോഷമാണ്. ഹരി ഹരി ഓം തസ്. ജയ ഗുരു.